Hey y'all, Barley here. Welcome to part 3 of the Day in the Life series as we head to Mexico City with some broken stuff. We're back at Gate Sierra 7 at Cancun International. We're headed to Mexico City and there might be some complications along the way. I haven't had a ton of on-air time lately and I might have a little work order stuff to do in cruise, not sure. We will be doing a lot of warping because I have an obligation this evening. So let's kick this pig. Took a little longer to get this episode out than I wanted. They did an ATR update in between my flight to Cancun and when I was planning to do this Mexico City trip, and it messed up some of the torque settings, so I've had to kind of figure out how to deal with that. So I spent a day working all that out. I've also scripted a little more for the co-pilot so that she can do more of the work. Take on a little more of the workload, and we'll see how that goes. Could be an epic fail. Alright. Let's give it a shot, shall we? Start the before start checklist.
Starting the before start checklist. Parking brake.
Set.
3 gear pins.
On board and stowed.
Circuit breakers.
In.
Battery switch.
Off.
External power.
Off.
Engine control knob.
Off.
Exterior lights off except beacon.
Check.
Ice protection.
Off.
Landing gear lever.
Down.
Power management to takeoff.
Check.
Gust lock.
On.
Power levers to idle.
Check.
Condition levers to shut off.
Check.
Trim switches centered.
Check.
Tail prop removed and on board.
Check.
Exterior doors closed.
Check.
Pre-flight checks complete. I'll get our clearance.
Oh, good. Well, while you do that, I will power up the aircraft and get some other stuff done. Shall we? We shall.
Clearance delivery Barley 01 IFR to Mexico City, ready to copy.
Barley 01 is cleared to Mexico City Airport is filed. Takeoff runway 12 right climb and maintain 5,000 feet. Departure frequency is 123.5 squawk 0136.
Barley 01 cleared to Mexico City Airport is filed. Takeoff runway 12 right climb and maintain 5,000 feet. Departure on 123.5 squawk 0136.
Barley 01 read back correct. Contact ground on 121.0. Good day.
And just like the trip from Cozumel to here, I'm using the SimBrief ATR import feature. If you want to see a manual entry with waypoints and airways and everything, that's in the first episode from Grand Cayman to Cozumel. Alternate is Acapulco, and alternate altitude 20,000. Zero fuel weight 42,894. Fuel on board. 550. is 7,100. 1.1 up on trim. If you don't set the trim, the takeoff configuration will fail. That's average wind 296 at 17. $113, 117. All right. Pick the flight plan. Larlo 2A goes down to Volin, and that's our transition to ILS 05 right Z, which goes the rest of that, and then go around. All right. Let's see. Transponder can be on. Set. Nav. Ooh, we don't need anything here. I guess if I wanted to, I could set up stuff on the Mexico side, on the Mexico City side. Mexico VOR is 115.9. Since we're here, but don't really use the VOR for the approach. It just needs to be there for go round, and then the ILS is 1091. That in there. All right. Comm radios. Well, we have a check for this, so radar can go to standby. Lock the cockpit door. The altitude he gave us was 5,000. Check. Runway heading is 125. Is where that is set. That is set. Heading with lateral navigation armed. IS without select armed. This needs to go auto. Okay. It's done. That's weird. 15 degrees flaps. Alright. I believe my side of the compartment is all set up. The co-pilot is ready. Let's finish the checklist.
Engine 1 fire protection test.
Check.
MFC faults clear.
Check.
TLU set to auto.
Check. Check.
Landing gear indicators through
Check.
green. Exterior door indicators
Off.
Fuel system test.
Check.
Fuel pumps
On.
prop brake ready.
Check.
DC generators.
Set.
Hydraulics.
On.
AC wild generators.
Set.
Ice protection.
Off.
No devices and fasten seat belt signs.
On.
Emergency lights armed.
Check.
Annunciator test.
Check.
Bleed air.
On.
O2 off.
Check.
O2 pressure above 1550.
Check.
Compartment smoke test completed.
Check.
Engine 2 fire protection test completed.
Check.
Anti-skid fault extinguished.
Check.
Stick pusher fault extinguished.
Check.
Radar set to standby.
Check.
FMS initialized.
Check.
Departure VOR.
Check.
Departure heading.
Check.
Departure altitude.
Check.
Autopilot modes.
Set.
Speed target set to auto.
Check.
Before start checks complete, ready to start the engine start list.
Begin.
Exterior door unlocked, indicators extinguished.
Check.
Shocks removed.
Check.
CDLS locked.
Check.
PEC fault light extinguished.
Check.
EEC fault light extinguished.
Check.
Ready to start the left engine.
Ready.
Engine start control.
Set.
Engine 1 starter.
On.
Engine 1 condition to feather at 10% NH.
Check.
Your
Oil
flight will be
pressure rising.
monitored until you land and shut down the engines.
Check.
Engine 1 starter off at 45% NH.
Check.
Engine start control.
Off.
ITT oil pressure and temps within limits.
Check.
External power off.
Check.
Generator 1.
On.
Ground power unit disconnected.
Check.
Ready to start number 2.
Ready.
Engine start control.
Set.
Engine 2 starter.
On.
Engine 2 condition to feather at 10% NH.
Check.
Oil pressure rising.
Check.
Engine 2 starter off at 45% NH.
Check.
Generator 2.
On.
Engine start control.
Off.
ITT oil pressure and temps within limits.
Check.
Startup checks complete, ready to start pushback list.
Begin.
Nose wheel steering.
Off.
Ready to push back.
Request pushback.
Aircraft not on ground.
What? Yeah, yes, we are. Why would you say that? Let me have a conversation with my compadre here. Request pushback.
Aircraft not on ground.
What are you talking about? Okay, we'll try. Request pushback.
Requesting pushback.
Okay. Had to disconnect her from the sim and then reconnect, if you're wondering. Testing out this new software. Once I'm happy with it, I will give a full review and let you guys know where to find it. If it totally stinks, I'll still let you know where to find it. We're going to speed this up a little bit because he is going to be slow pushing back an aircraft that weighs as much as we do. There we go. And pushback straight is not where he's at today. Gotta stay on him. Can you imagine this at normal speed? Alright, check. Oh, disconnecting. Repeat.
Ready to push back.
Okay. Check.
Com door closed.
Check.
Prop brake.
Off.
Condition levers auto.
Check.
Pitot heat.
Off.
TRU.
Where you going, buddy? Keep an eye on you. On.
Position taxi and strobe lights.
On.
Autopilot data.
Check.
Anti-skid test.
Check.
Flaps 15.
Check.
MFD to navigation mode.
Check.
Transponder set and on.
Check.
Pushback checks complete. Should I start the before taxi list?
Not yet. Stop, pushback.
Stopping pushback.
Cancun ground Barley 01 with India ready to taxi IFR.
Barley 01 taxi to and hold short of runway 12 right via taxiway Bravo 12 Charlie Charlie 9er. Contact tower on 118.6 when ready.
Taxiing hold short runway 12 right using taxiway Bravo 12 Charlie Charlie 9er Barley 01.
Continue. Check.
Nose wheel steering.
On.
Checklist complete. Starting before takeoff checklist. Test brakes.
Check.
Gust lock.
Off.
Takeoff configuration test.
Check.
Cabin crew is ready for takeoff.
Great.
Flight controls free and responsive.
Oh, you know what? I didn't start. Repeat.
Flight controls free and responsive.
Check.
Rudder indicator centered.
Check.
At the correct runway.
Don't know yet. Should be.
Takeoff clearance.
It's your job. Like a little bit of a left crosswind, not much. Yeah, this update's brought a few interesting things. Takeoff will be somewhat normal. You need a lot more, a lot more yoke to lift off than you used to. Back before, I used to have to kind of hold the nose down during the takeoff roll. Now you don't, but it doesn't feel ready to rotate at VR. Right. And we'll just stop there. 86.
Possible responses are: check.
Cancun Tower Barley 01 at runway 12 right ready for departure IFR to Mexico City.
Barley 01 altimeter 29er decimal 9er 4 wind 102 at 12. Cleared for takeoff runway 12 right.
Cleared for takeoff runway 12 right Barley 01.
Check.
Bleed valves.
On.
Checklist complete.
Went on approach. Get lined up and get out of here.
Starting takeoff checklist. Landing lights.
On.
Runway is clear.
Lined up.
Notch. Notch. Airspeed
Notch.
alive. Notch. 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 Takeoff power set. 70 knots cross check.
Check.
Checklist complete. V1. Rotate.
Not yet.
Starting climb checklist. Trim for V2 plus 5.
Airborne time logged.
You're up.
Setting flaps 0.
Oh, stop.
Acceleration altitude. Setting power
Raleigh
to climb.
01, contact Cancun departure on 123.5. Good day.
It'll be fine.
123.5 Barley 01. Cancun departure Barley 01 is at 600 feet, climbing 5,000 feet.
Barley 01 Cancun departure altimeter 29er for continue to UN 418 as planned. Barley 01 climb and maintain 9,300 feet. Keep speed not above 230 knots.
Climb and maintain 9,300 feet. Keep speed not above 230 knots. Barley 01.
230 won't be a problem. Certainly not in a climb. Seeing one defect that's still there is see all this light? That's the taxi lights. Watch. Because the nose gear are in the nose well, the taxi lights illuminating the cockpit. Enjoy. If it wasn't those, I don't know if they fixed this other one. Turn those off for a second. Turn on the cat. Ooh, dark. Yeah, still, the cabin lights still illuminate the cockpit too. All of those things. But our climb torque is low. That is definitely, that came with this update. Climb torque should be 97% at 82, but it gets the prop right. And takeoff torque was fine. But yeah, climb torque is definitely low. I mean, we're only at 2,700 feet. It should be like, yeah, like 97. And that's why instead of 14 to 1,500 feet per minute, we're doing 1,000. You can do a little something about it, 2 different ways. But you can either take it out of the notch, just put it just below ramp, and it will add enough torque to where your climb performance doesn't totally stuck. Your other choice is go MCT, which according to the FCOM you can run as long as you want. There's no time limit on it, and you will get all the cruise performance you can handle. But that's not how this is supposed to be flown. It's supposed to be flown in the notch, you know, with climb set here. Now, out of curiosity, those were flying. Doing climb checklist. Repeat.
Trim for V2 plus 5.
Check.
Yaw damper.
Oh. Check.
Lead valves.
On.
ITT oil pressure and temperatures within limits.
Check.
Altimeters.
That's the last reading we got. 29904. Check.
Checklist complete.
Next checklist is 10,000 feet. It's gonna be a minute, so we're gonna speed that up. There will be a lot of warping on this flight. Like I said, I have an obligation this evening, which is why there won't be a Friday night flight. But you saw how the co-pilot handled a lot of the transition, you know, from basically from liftoff all the way through our actual climb. I think SAT 15. We're okay right now. She makes a call out for acceleration at altitude and sets the knob to climb while I level the aircraft out to accelerate so we can get to best rate. and then she takes the flaps up when the flag crosses. Oh, all of that makes it so much easier to manage that portion of flight. There's a lot going on, but it definitely makes it easier. This will be the first time I'm running this full set of scripts for descent. I've tested takeoff a couple of times, and I did some like practice descending just to make sure it basically worked. But how it works dealing with Microsoft's ATC and a real arrival and a real approach, well, we're gonna find out together.
Barley 01, contact Merida Center on 125.2. Good day.
Going to 125.2 Barley 01. Merida Center Barley 019,100 feet.
Barley 01 Merida Center altimeter 29.9 tree. Continue to UN 419 as planned. Barley 01 climb and maintain flight level 200.
Climb and maintain flight level 200 Barley 01.
We're all set there. Since we've been cleared above 18,000, I guess we could set pressure altitude. There we go. Standard pressure. Set pressure altitude. We'll just make it whatever we want. No, set standard pressure.
10,000 feet.
Doesn't seem too bumpy. It'll feel bumpier. Now, here, we should be able to climb at roughly 1,000 feet per minute. We're only at 10,000 feet. 600 feet per minute is no bueno. So, here's the fix. MCT. And because of that, this gets set wrong, so you have to go manual. Set it for best rate. It's not how you're supposed to fly the plane, but with the version they just gave us, it's how you have to fly the plane. Some other things that kind of don't work right is a descent on vertical speed. There's several things, or just a descent, period. Like once you level at alt hold, you know, when you're in alt hold and you want to set the altitude ahead of time, it'll start actually descending without having chosen a mode to descend. So that's a bug. And on vertical speed, you're doing a descent on vertical speed. Well, once you get on the initial approach, or the final approach fix, you have your vertical speed set so that you're just doing a constant descent, and then you're supposed to take the altitude back up to the go around altitude. Well, if you do that, it stops descending and it goes into altitude hold mode. So that's busted. And like I said, I've watched a couple of people's videos after the update, and they seem very happy with the fixes. The torque thing got me torqued. My plane has low T. And it's in climb too. Substantially wrong cruise numbers. And I'll show you all that. I have the tables in the FCOM. Substantially wrong cruise numbers. And the torque settings are wrong by the numbers. Again, climb's supposed to be 97 at 82. Yeah. Now, as you go up in altitude, that number does come down. But initially, it wasn't. It was 90, what, 1? 92? That's too low. And I think it's they have the pitch set too fine on the props. That's my theory. Speed this up a bit, shall we? All right. Start 10,000 foot checklist. No, really. Start 10,000 foot checklist.
Starting 10,000 foot checklist. Landing and takeoff lights.
Off.
Cabin pressure.
Check.
Cabin temperature.
Check.
No device sign.
Off.
Fasten seatbelt sign.
Off.
Checklist complete.
I think of what else I've run into. Okay. So we're at our cruise altitude. And according to the FCOM, you let it get to cruise speed before you switch the knob, and wait till you see how disappointing this is. So first we'll pull it back to the notch. Which will start being disappointing all by itself. Okay, and now that that's set, we'll move this to cruise. And then I'll show you how wrong this is. We're at 20,000 feet, negative 12 Celsius. ISA for 20,000 feet is negative 24, so we're 12 degrees warm. Our speed's dropping. True airspeed is in the 260s. So let's take a look at the FCOM and see how what we're looking at. So, cruise, 2 engines, 20,000 feet. Delta ISA is 12, so it's like in between these two. We should be seeing 64 torque. That doesn't look like 64, does it? And we should be seeing 205 indicated and 279 true. Well, no, that's hold on. We should be seeing in between these two. So, like 203 indicated and 277-ish true. True is 269 and indicated is 191. Yeah, none of this is hitting the table. And it's because of torque. Props are set exactly where they're supposed to be. 82. So we're going to let it run at that for just a little bit, and then we'll show you what you can do. Start the cruise checklist.
Starting the cruise checklist. Power management set to cruise.
Check.
Cabin pressure.
Check.
Cabin temp.
Check.
Arrival briefing.
Okay. We can do that. Yes. Pull up this for that. Whoa. This is why I've started using Navigraph on an external window. There's nothing funky going on with it right now. But, wait, there's the arrival. Larla 2A. We're going to Larlo at 23,000, so we'll have to climb ahead of that. Then we'll descend down to 18. Hold 17 until Ernok. We go to 14 and 11. We're going to have to really pay attention to these altitude changes. Some are substantial. And then 14 to 11. So... And then from Vollen... Z, I believe, is the one. Yeah, Vollen, MX901. I'm thinking that we need to be configured by Vollen, but how much altitude do we have to drop for that? Yeah, so we need to basically be configured by Vollen. Okay. That's the arrival. And we kind of even looked at the approach. Speed. It's like 230, which we'll have to watch while we're descending. 210, definitely be guarded, and 190 without a doubt. Alright. Just hide that for now. We're moving and grooving. Reset the chrono. I need that for our engine timer. There we go. Could make this easier to see, huh? That'll... Let's see. How did that work? That's easier. There we go. Oh, another discrepancy I found. So, if you notice here, the FB says that our maximum takeoff weight is 50,660 pounds. Well, so I went and looked, because I noticed, first of all, inside the sim there's a discrepancy. Inside the plane even. Pull up the plane's own. Well, it does this, but that's not relevant right now. Max takeoff weight is 51,081. That's obviously not the same as 50,660. So those two don't agree. So then I went up to ATR's website and took a look at what they said it was. What I... Yeah, that's not it. Where did... Route sheet, there it is. So ATR's website says it's 50,706. So... it's like 500 pounds more than that, and probably 300-400 pounds lighter than that. So it's in between these two. The FCOM, mine's old, the only one I could find, has it at 48,501. So it's all over the place. I'd probably go with the one on the ATR website. But it's inconsistent. At least the weight and balance sheet, if nothing else matched, the weight and balance sheet for the plane should match what the EFB says is the maximum takeoff weight. Because right now I don't know. Well, obviously this doesn't match what ATR says. Is it because this is a different configuration of 72-600. I don't know, but they should the weight and balance sheet for the plane should match what the EFB says, because I don't have a placard to look at. I can't, you know. When are we going to get to, just so I keep track of such things? We get to Larlo at 4:23. That's not at. It's in 4:23. All right, there we go. Larlo 2101. And it's 1922. So hour and a half, but we're at whatever 3 times speed, so like 30 minutes. And then figure another 20 for arrival and such. Okay, so if we wanted to speed that up, because not that, I mean, we're gonna, if we keep it in cruise, we can hit the auto speed button again, so it's topped out at 244. It won't matter. Look at this, 185 indicated, 257 true. That's 20 knots slow. That's 20 knots slow. That's in the notch, right? It's the torque settings. They're just wrong. Like I said, I think it's the blade pitch. They have the propellers the pitch is too fine. So the propellers aren't grabbing enough air, taking a big enough bite. Because the RPMs are fine, but if you increase the pitch, then it'll have to throw more fuel at it, because this is substantially less fuel. Where is it? Oh yeah, we have to go back to that. There we go. This 20.5 pounds per minute. Before the change, it was at 26, and I was getting better. I was getting accurate true air speeds and such. This is 20 knots underperforming. So you can first try, you know, taking this back up to where I'm doing it just shy of the ramp. So you can bring these up and just stay just underneath ramp. So 80%, right? And you'll get a little more out of them, but it won't get up to whatever, 64, I think is what we said. And actually it didn't really move at all, did it? Really? So literally adding 10% power or more, right? Because really, I guess 65 is where you are at the bottom. Adding 15% power didn't do anything. Yeah, just abysmal. So, yeah, so that doesn't do it. So now your only choice is, so let's put it back in the notch. There you go. You agree? It agrees. We do the MCT thing. It's noisier. Passengers will probably don't like this. It's not how you're supposed to fly it.
Marley 01, contact Meredith Center on 128 decimal tree. Good day.
This doesn't get us. It's not getting us. It's not getting us the right torque settings. It's just increasing the propeller speed to 100. It's still holding roughly the low torque setting. Again, my plane has low T. It's holding the bad lower torque setting. It's just increased the RPMs. But by doing so, our true airspeed is now coming up to, what did we say, 274 and like 205, I think, or 204 or something like that. So these are coming up to where we should be, and our fuel burn is 20. 3.6. It's getting close to what it was before. Right now, we're just really efficient as far as fuel. But, you know, there, 274, that's exactly what we're supposed to hit. But I got to do it in MCT. You leave it in cruise, you saw, we're 20 knots slow. And true airspeed should be your guide, not ground speed, because wind affects that. True airspeed is your speed through the wind. Period. And that's dead on. But you gotta fly it at the wrong setting. It's a shame. Just a shame. What else? So they broke vertical speed. Oh, and then the alt hold thing, you're gonna see that when we do the arrival. I have had to fidget with that. It worked before. Now it's iffy. It's not consistent.
Arrival briefing.
Oh, check. Check.
Checklist complete.
I guess we should have finished the cruise checklist. But there we go. That's the only thing is, I guess every once in a while she nudges me when I forget to do something. But even running MCT, I think MCT you're supposed to see like 800 on the ITTs. Obviously not. If I understand that part of the FCOM. But these torque numbers are terrible. It's not correct. Now, we could complain about the speeds and other factors and then, you know, talk about atmospheric pressure and pressure altitude and all that other garbage. But this should be applying the set torque at the set, you know, given for the table. Altitude and then difference in temperature, ISA. This should definitely hold the torque. Now, whether or not it produces exactly that true airspeed, it should come close. Depending on how much weight you got in the aircraft, you know, there may be a little bit of change there, but we should be running 82% NP with, what did I say, 64%? 1,000 on this line. 60, yeah, 64-ish % torque. It's just wrong. And when we were climbing out, we should have seen 85% torque. Never saw anything close to that. It was in the 70s. So yeah, that's what they broke. They gave my plane low T. Oh, that's something that should be relatively easy for them to fix. I mean, if knob is in cruise, set torque to that table. Or whatever curve they want to build off that table. And they need to remedy the discrepancies between the weight and balance sheet and here and ATR's official numbers. Fix the lights so that the taxi lights don't light up the cockpit when you pull the nose gear in, and so the cabin lights, the passenger cabin, don't light up the cabin. That's especially annoying at night. So that switch just lives off now in my checklist. Let's see if I have anything else on my... And I'm not complaining because I hate the plane. I'm complaining because I love the plane. I just want it to be right. Let's see. Hold up. Got it with that. Yep.
Arrival briefing.
Check.
Checklist complete.
Yeah, we already finished that one. Stop listening. Stop listening.
Stopping responding to voice command.
I don't want to do the arrival briefing over and over. Let's see. So, other things coming up for the channel is obviously the other half of this flight. This is, if you weren't aware, this is the first half of a full day in the life of one of my crews. They fly ATRs from Grand Cayman to Mexico City, stopping in Cozumel, Cancun, and then from Mexico City back. And they do that every day. It's like 10 hours. But then from Mexico City, they go back to Cancun to Cozumel to Grand Cayman. Well, I'm doing that same route. Obviously, I don't have 10 hours in a single day to give to playing Flight Simulator. So I'm doing each trip at, you know, I did the Cayman to Cancun section. I did it in one day, and I'm doing the Cancun to Mexico City in one day. I'll do Mexico City back to Cancun in a day, and then probably do the Cancun to Cozumel to Grand Cayman in a day. But even hyper speeding it like this, it's just a big time commitment, and today I don't have it. Bay of Campeche. I wonder if getting the torque corrected and our higher cruise speeds but we've already shaved 10 minutes off of it. Weather radar seems to have nothing to report. There's just nothing there. That's good. Go ahead and turn that on. Everybody gets pitot heat. You can kind of already see the clouds, and we're below freezing. And really, company policy is below 5 degrees in if flying IFR. If you want to see the route we're taking. There we go. We went from out here, this is where Grand Cayman is, then we flew to Cozumel, then to Cancun. Now we're making this trip across the Bay of Campeche into Mexico City. And of course, our other large operation is right up here, Tampico, MMTM. In fact, last time I came to Mexico City, we did it in the Chancellor, from Tampico to Paz, and then we used a northern approach because they were landing and taking off 23 left. Today it's 5 right. So we're using this arrival. Let's see. Then I've got to do some setup of, I use spad.next to set up all my widgets and gadgets out here, and you have to with this plane because they didn't interface all the internal variables with the SimConnect interface, which is what, like the Logitech multi-panel, the Bravo auto throttle, and the Logitech flight instrument panel or aircraft instrument panel rely on. So I have to use spad.next to map all that stuff. Well, I need to go do that for the Chancellor and the King Air and the Cessna then I'll probably do a configuration guide once I've gone through it with a couple of different planes just to see how different it is. There was a bit of a learning curve when I did the first one, which was this plane, and I was learning this plane at the same time. And then the checklist script reader thing, I have to work on that for the other planes. Oh, and something else that's broken, reverse thrust. Yeah. So like I said, I had done, to test the checklist scripting, I had done a quick, takeoff and landing. And when I landed, I go to flight idle at about,
Mexico Center,
probably 50 feet. Well, we'll cross the threshold and power's out, so I'm flight idle. Well, then, as soon as I get the nose gear to touch down, well, as soon as the mains hit, I go back to ground idle, because you have to wait for that so that this guy right here moves so you can get back to ground idle. So that's as fast as you can get to ground idle. Well, used to be, as soon as you got the, we're at ground idle notification, that kind of thing, you could go back into reverse and it would start slowing down the airplane. Well, now, so you're waiting for, there's two lights here you have to wait for, and it's a low pitch. It means the propellers have gone to low pitch. It doesn't happen until like you're at 40 knots. So you use the brakes for everything, and then the reversers will help. Well, no, you really needed them early on. So yeah, they broke that. You'll see that. So I'm not going to be doing any short field landings until that gets fixed, because that will be a runway excursion. Overrun, whatever you want to call it. An incident. And I don't want that. Oh, do you guys have to tell me if you like this overlay? Definitely have more information on it. So it's Volanta. That's the app. That's how you say it. Volanta. So they said that if you had the premium version, which is like a $6 US monthly subscription, you could customize the overlay. So I was thinking, oh, you mean like each of these, like Flight Sim Studio lets you pick which of these you want, and what data feeds it. So I said, okay, well, it's $6. Let's find out. So I subscribed, and I got the customization options, and you know what they include? Changing the color. Well, that by itself is not worth $6 a month to me. They do have other tools, like the ability to monitor your flight remotely, like on your phone or pad. So if once the C-130J from Blackbird Simulations comes out, I could easily, those can be some long flights. So I could see me
Resuming responding to voice commands.
Stop listening.
Stopping responding to voice commands.
I could see me, doing the, startup, taxi, takeoff, get to cruise, chit-chat a bit, and then leaving it on cruise, and then going and helping the family with whatever, or eating, grabbing a drink, and then just watching it on my phone, and every once in a while I'll come back and check on it. But you can monitor it, and you can even pause it, so if something starts to go wrong, you can just hit the pause button and then come back in, to your simulator and fix whatever happened. I forget what the other things are, but premium, you get a map where you can create a fly-in or whatever, and you can share the map with other people, and only the host has to have the thing. So if I figure out how I want to use those things, if I do, you know, get into live stream stuff, I could see it. I may have to give Toolkit Pro another shot. Only problem I had with it was when it was on, it was causing crashes for me, and I don't know if it's a mixture of the devices I have or what, but I might give it another shot and see if that's gotten better. Getting there. There's Larlo. 2 waypoints away. £40 of difference. I don't care. It's not a big deal. Not a problem. But yeah, see, it's maintaining exactly the true airspeed that you'd expect. So if you're wondering, this is what it looks like. This MCT, and you get roughly what you need. And it burns the fuel that pre the update, it's actually burning a little less. Because it was like 26, I want to say it was like 26 pounds per minute, I think. So we'll have extra fuel after we land. Well, unless I do something epic barley and we have to go around. Which, if you watch enough of my videos, it happens. We have barley moments. Sometimes they're ATC barley moments, where the ATC tells me to do something and I don't want them to kick me off my flight plan, so I'll go ahead and do it, knowing it's going to be a disaster. And other times, I'll just ignore them. And, you know, just so I don't have to deal with the aftermath. There's just some things like, okay, I'll never... If I do what they're telling me, it'll be a disaster. Other times, I'm like, alright, well, let's see what comes out of it. Yeah, so by changing this to MCT from cruise, it's saving us 15 minutes sim time, which is a lot more since I'm compressing everything. Well, I guess a lot less. It would be 15 minutes, so it saved us 5 or 6 minutes on the video. And we're not so time compressed that we can't enjoy the scenery. Well, that's something I could show. Hopefully it won't cause a problem. This is an experiment. Oh, not that. I want to change the volume. So we'll go back to regular time.
Barley 01, contact Mexico Center on 125.1. Good day.
He's got the radios handled. So anyway,
125.1 Barley 01.
Here is something else I started playing with.
Barley 01 flight level 200.
Barley 01 Mexico Center, continue to Memphis as planned.
The NVIDIA game filter. So I added some different things, and I'll just show you what it looks like before I messed with it, which is what you're seeing if you're in sim. That. It's just so cold looking, right? It's like dull, and it almost looks like, I don't know, but I like that better. The colors pop, the sky looks better. Just, and you know, could tweak it and that kind of thing, but I just think that looks better. Now, it's an experimental feature, so, you know, and some of those filters you don't want. There's something like called Painterly. Oh, holy crap. Yeah, your GPU is going to be begging for breath. Won't have a chance. speed back up. We don't want to take... I gotta hop in the shower. Within 45 minutes, I think I'm gonna just barely make it. Or I'll get in trouble. But that will allow me to cut up the video tonight. After, well, I don't do a lot of editing on these. Just the beginning, I gotta add in my barley wolf, which is a real thing, by the way. German kids story. There's the field wolf, and then they have subtypes of wheat wolf and barley wolf. Where all of that comes from. I couldn't remember. I don't remember what the actual name is in German. I don't have a whole lot of German vocabulary. But basically it eats bad children. That German kid story. I don't even remember how I tripped across that, or who told me about it. Feeling short. Oh, that's better. Okay, we're below our maximum landing weight, so don't have to worry about that anymore. 113 for our approach speed. Okay. Well, we're about to find out how my arrival, descent, approach scripts all go. Wish me luck. Okay, let's start the descent briefing. Oh, start listening.
Resuming responding to voice commands.
Start the descent briefing. Hello. Start the descent briefing. She's quitting. She's not doing it anymore. Start. Oh, because it's not a briefing, it's a checklist. Ha ha ha. Start the descent checklist.
Starting the descent checklist. No devices and fasten seat belt signs.
Off. Off. Oh, they're on, actually. On.
I have advised the cabin crew that we are about to descend.
Great.
Power management to takeoff.
Well, this will be disappointing. But, okay. So we'll go. Hello. There goes our wonderful cruise speed. Just make sure we're actually in the notch. Repeat.
Power management to takeoff.
Check.
Altimeter set to local when cleared below flight level 180.
Climb and maintain flight level 230 Barley 01.
Maybe I should have left it in
Possible
MCT.
responses are set.
Yeah, I'll talk to you in a bit.
Setting flaps 15.
Oh, shouldn't be doing that yet. I'm gonna put that back up. Because we're slow. So she thinks we're ascending. But yeah. And I gotta check that. So yep, that takeoff triggered because it is the takeoff knob. So I shouldn't have put it in takeoff until we had done this climb up to 23 because I knew it was coming. That's what triggered that script. It's fixable. Yeah. So definitely don't go to takeoff mode until you're actually descending. That's... She was doing the right thing, because what I wanted is, if I switch the knob to takeoff, and then we you know, we start, and it should have been descending. That's
Barley 01 descend and maintain flight level 200.
so right back to where we were.
Flight level 200, Barley 01.
No. Okay. Now drop us back to real time, because things will happen a little too fast if I don't. I want to keep it. We'll see.
Review landing elevation.
It's 7,300 feet. Check.
Brief the approach.
We did already, but okay. We want to be fully configured by Volin. And then we're going to drop down to 9700 by 901, 8900. Catch the glide slope here. Localizer should be picked up around here somewhere. Missed approach. Oh, minimums. Minimums. 7566. Let's get that set. Yo, dude. We're going to go to MDA. And start twisting. A lot. What's your speed? So 7566, we'll set 7580.
17,000 feet, keep speed not above 230 knots.
17,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 17,000 feet. Keep speed not above 230 knots, Barley 01.
So we have to take this off of here. And that for 220. Bring power back in. Somewhere in there. I need to finish twisting. 7566, I'll go 7580. There we go, and to get it to stop flashing, you just have to make sure Copilot's is also set to MDA. Done. That's set. Alright, check. Check.
Minimum set.
Check.
Pitot heat.
On.
Checklist complete.
see what you're trying to do. Kind of. So I'll put it in takeoff now.
Barley 01 descend and maintain 12,000 feet.
No.
Descend and maintain 12,000 feet, Barley 01.
That's what I mean. We have to be at 17,000. At 17,000. There's no descending to 12,000 here. Oh, no. Boy. Okay, well, put a notch. I'll be able to get above 179 here. And takeoff power. With no flaps down. There you go. I want to keep it around 200 for now.
Barley 01, please expedite your descent 12,000 feet.
What part of no didn't you get? See? 14th, above 14 for crossing here, so there's no way I'm going out of 12,000.
Barley 01 descend and maintain 17,000 feet.
Okay,
Descend and maintain
I'll do that.
17,000 feet, Barley 01.
I agree. I'm glad you came to your senses that 12,000 call was idiotic. Then we go that way. So we'll start configuring at Ernok and be completely configured by Volin.
Barley 01 descend and maintain 14,000 feet. Keep speed not above 210 knots.
Descend and maintain 14,000 feet. Keep speed not above 210 knots, Barley 01.
Barley 01, contact Mexico approach on 119.25. Good day.
119.25 for Barley 01. Mexico approach Barley 01 is at 16,600 feet, descending 14,000 feet.
Barley 01, Mexico approach altimeter 29.97. Continue to Ernok as planned.
Repeat.
Checklist complete.
Okay. Start the approach checklist.
Starting the approach checklist. Landing and taxi lights.
On.
Cabin pressure.
Check.
Fuel balance.
Check.
I have informed the cabin crew of our status.
Great.
Checklist complete.
And then on the return trip from Mexico back to Cancun, I'm going to go through the on-air factories feature. See if you guys are interested in that.
Barley 01 descend and maintain 13,000 feet.
Okay.
Descend and maintain 13,000 feet, Barley 01.
And we'll start our configuration here. As we get below 180. Start the before landing checklist.
Starting the before landing checklist. Throttles to flight idle.
Check.
Flaps 15 at 180 knots.
Check.
Gear down at 170 knots.
That's 160. Well, published is 170, but that's another thing that's wrong. Is if you put the gear down at 169, 11,000. Okay.
Descend and maintain 11,000 feet. Keep speed, not above 1900 knots. Expect ILS Zulu runway 05 right approach via Volin transition. Clear to Volin Barley 01.
Clear to Volin. And Volin is next. Okay, so I mean.
Landing gear.
Yep.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
I did it.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. 3 greens and flaps. Landing 15. Gear.
I have to work on that script. Write that down.
Setting flaps 30.
Okay. I just basically put automatic.
01 descend and maintain 9,700 feet.
Descend and maintain 9,700 feet, Barley 01.
Barley 01, you are 9 miles southwest of Mexico City. Contact Mexico Tower on 118.55 when inbound.
Tower on 118.55 Barley 01. Mexico Tower Barley 019 miles southwest inbound ILS Zulu runway 05 right approach.
Barley 01 Mexico Tower. Altimeter tree 0.17 wing tree 46 at 9er. Cleared ILS Zulu runway 05 right approach.
Okay.
Cleared ILS Zulu runway 05 right approach Barley 01.
Now we're navigating by the localizer for the ILS. Repeat.
Gear down at 170 knots.
Doc.
Power management set to takeoff.
Check.
3 greens and flaps 15.
30. Yes. Check. Check.
TLU low speed illuminated.
Check.
Flaps 30 at 150 knots.
Okay, and approach is set. It's got the glide slope. Check.
Checklist complete.
Notice control speed. It'll take care of. The autopilot has the
Barley 01
approach locked in.
at 9er.
As long as that,
Cleared to land runway 05 right.
as long as it holds that blue diamond and that the
Cleared to
two blue
land runway
diamonds,
05
we're
right
good.
Barley 01.
'Cause I don't see a runway yet. Do you? A little slower. Fine speed control on approach is a little challenging. It's real easy to. Still don't see a runway. Okay. All our lights are set. 3 greens. Flaps. Bermed in every way. As long as we see a runway before minimums. 113 is our approach speed. I'm gonna start moving for that. I see the runway. Runway in sight. We are landing. Not much before minimums.
40 at 3 knots.
340. Is that what she said? Okay. Yaw damper.
500.
Autopilot off. Whoa. Retrim. Yeah, I know. We are exactly at the speed we need to be at, according to the computer. Don't give me any of your beep, beep, beep.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Starting
Landing
after
time
landing
logged.
checklist. Flaps 0.
See, no low pitch lights. So we gotta go brakes. Still no low pitch lights. That's hard brakes.
40
There.
knots.
There. You can use the reversers here. And they won't even come on. Yeah. Yeah, they broke that.
Contact ground on 121.0.
121.0 for Barley 01.
Oh, well, that's not a... What the heck? What's that? Yeah, but... See, that used to work. Reversers used to work just fine. Because there's ground idle. Low pitch. And I have it in reverse now, and nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh, look, it doesn't go into reverse. Oh, what did they do? Did they screw with this thing? So... Okay, well, I'll mess with that later, but yeah. It's not recognizing anything below ground idle. Okay, well, let's get taxied and then I'll mess with all that stuff. Yeah, they broke something. Alright, contact ground 1210, and we want gate.
Mexico ground Barley 01 taxi to the gate.
Barley 01 taxi to gate 80 via taxiway golf, cross runway, 2 tree, right echo, 2 Bravo Alpha Lima Bravo.
That was the wrong airport, I'm like, what?
Taxiing to gate 80 via taxiway golf cross runway, 2 tree right echo, 2 Bravo Alpha Lima Bravo Barley 01.
I was good up to Alpha. Oh, and then back this way. The grass encroachment is something else. Okay, Lima Bravo is to the right. Okay. We made it. And I don't remember which gate. 20? Sounds right. 80. Really close. It ended with an E. Okay, so it says Lima Bravo. How do I find gate 80? R5. That doesn't help me. I don't know what that means. Gate 80. Anyone? Okay, well, I already know what I'm looking for, so you get out of my face. In fact, totally. See, what gate is that? 68. That's 69. I'm guessing 80's over there somewhere. Because that doesn't look like 10 gates long. 80 might... We're gonna find out. I don't have a gate layout map on my thing, so... Is this gate 80? This is gate 80, okay. Well, that was quick. I found it, and there's nobody there. Oh, that's 81. There's a plane in 80. Or did I... Yeah, what? You're in my gate, mister. Yeah, there's a plane in my gate. That's 80. Okay, let me re-look and make sure that's 80 right there. Gate 80. Well, find one that doesn't. Oh, I can back up. So that looks empty over there. Whatever that is, that'll do. So we won't get marshaled in because I don't have any way of contacting anybody and saying, "Hey, I need another gate." Right? Well, let's look. Pretty sure that's not a choice. Yeah. That won't help. Is this one empty? No, here's an empty one. Okay, fine. 2 empty ones. I think gate 73 looks amazing. We'll use that one. And we won't get marshaled in or anything, but that's all right. I can follow lines. Parking brake. Props to Feather. Yes, you can be mad. That's okay. It's perfectly fine to be mad. I'm gonna go ahead and shut down one. Knock off the strobes or the taxi lights. We turned off radar. We turned off transponder. We got all the unnecessary lights off. Turn you off. You. PRU is off. Let passengers start getting up. And actually, before we get all crazy about letting them run around. Oh. We need to get main door open, that tail prop put up before people start moving around too much. Tail prop's stored on board, so you have to open the door to hand it to the ground crew so they can attach it. Alright, so we'll assume that all happens. Okay, fasten seatbelt is off. Exit emergency lights are armed. We don't need our AC weld system anymore.
Checklist complete.
Okay, thanks. Start the parking checklist. Start the parking checklist.
Starting parking checklist. Parking brake.
Check.
Taxi lights.
Off.
Condition levers to feather.
Check.
Engine timer above 1 minute.
Yeah, 12. Check. Check.
Engine 1 condition lever to shut off.
Check.
Confirm engine 1 shut down.
Check.
Prop brake.
Off.
Ground power.
Since it is a turnaround. On.
Condition lever for engine 2.
Off.
Engine off
lights.
time logged.
Huh?
The flight is finished. It has been monitored by OnAir.
Repeat.
Position lights.
Off.
Confirm both engines NP at 0.
Check.
Wheel chocks in position.
Check.
Passenger door open.
Check.
Tail prop in position.
Check.
Emergency lighting disarmed.
Check.
No device and seat belt signs.
Off.
Cargo and service doors open.
Check.
Parking checks complete, ready to start cold and dark list.
Begin.
O2 supply.
Off.
Wipers.
Off.
Ice protection.
Off.
Radar.
Off.
Prop brake.
Off.
Engine 2 condition lever to shut off.
Check.
Fuel pumps.
Off.
Record fuel level.
Did forget to do that. Still on board, 2690. Sheet says. Yeah, 400 above. 500. Really, almost. Oh, yeah, it's definitely. Update saves you a bunch of fuel, but you have to go through a bunch of machinations to manage power. Well, torque. Low T, that's the problem. Alright, check. Check.
CDLS unlocked.
Oh, make it easier to get out of here, wouldn't it? Check.
External power.
Probably just leave it on since we're doing a turn. On. Check.
Battery switch.
We should leave that on too for a turnaround. Alright, so we're all done. OnAir already knows we got done. How did it rate my crappy landing? It was hard, I agree. So we were 6 knots fast of our approach speed. That's part of it, and that 316 feet per minute, yeah. But we got all our bonuses except for the nice landing. We got some extra rep. Okay, so yeah, I got to work on that final flare, and I will. And you'll notice the big difference is, hey, I do this with real weather. I know it's much easier to land when there's no crosswind. We had a good crosswind component on this one from the left. And like I said, there's a real, it seems harder now to finally control speed at final approach speeds. In that, at that level between like 110 and 115, it's real hard to be fine with it. But other than that, we completed a bunch of transporting things and getting money for stuff that we transported. And I have to go. So, in the usual manner, Barley out.